For me, the most challenging part of working throughout COVID-19 was the speed at which we needed to change our delivery of our projects, speaking to obviously members of the team and then speaking to the young people that we support to establish very quickly what would be the quickest and easiest way to change our delivery to make it still accessible for them.
Losing that personal touch was very challenging during COVID-19, and so much of what we do is based on relational quality, and that was very difficult to transpose into a sort of remote digital method. I think we did it very well, but it was far from ideal.
Ongoing concerns that we have are the obvious mental health, anxiety, isolation, but putting that into context really. For the young people that we support, all young people during the pandemic, that 2 years was such a big percentage of the life that they've had compared to somebody like me. I'm nearly 50. So for me, 2 years is a small percentage of my life. But for somebody that's 18, it's huge. And that 2 years, as Pam said, very formative years when they would normally be out and about with their friends. The need to interact with your friends and have those relationships is so much more important at that age. That's the knock-on effect that we're seeing then from this huge percentage of their life, that they've lost their routine and structure from their friendships, and has had then the obvious knock-on impacts on their mental health.
Well, I think the first year of lockdown, we had more referrals than the previous year, which was really good, and that they've continued to come in. Really pleased with a participant of mine felt completely unable to communicate, made a few attempts at phone calls, but even sort of text, it was just a no for video calls, text calls, anything. But so, yeah, apart from a couple of, I sort of checked in with this person's mum a few times throughout that. Recently, he's asked his mum to get back in touch because now he sort of wants that support moving out of the lockdown era.
We're working closely with other organisations, and they are bringing more opportunities now, or working towards giving more opportunities to young people.
Yeah.
So working with them and opening that up. I've had some clients who've gone on to start a course in Witney that before wasn't available to them. Some young people with autism, and they now have somewhere to go.
What's nice about Aspire is that because we're able to offer quite a bespoke sort of service, so it's not such a case of just painting everyone with the same brush. They can sort of come to us with their individual needs or issues, which sort of in this COVID environment has been so varied. So it's nice to be able to sort of offer that to them.
I'm proud of the speed at which everything changed, the speed at which we were able to make changes, both as a sector, as an organisation, and then the adaptability of the young people that we supported. It involved changing policies, it involved creating closed Facebook groups, accessing enough digital equipment to distribute to the young people so that they could engage in a different way. And it didn't impact the number of referrals that we received on the Unlocking Potential project. In fact, we managed to maintain and in some areas slightly increase the number of referrals that we had and the engagement that we had with young people, which then resulted in commendation from our funders and an extension of our funding. Which is fantastic. So that project will now run until June of next year.
Something that I've noted as well, which makes me excited for the future. Before, trying to engage young people with any interest in topical affairs or the news, it just didn't happen. The pandemic has, if we can draw any positive from it, it has enabled young people to have an interest in what's going on around them. Even though it's been shocking and difficult, they've been very much a part of that reporting process. And now obviously with other global news, they are now showing an interest, and they want to know more, they want to ask questions. And I think in asking those questions, we can start to allay fears and bring some perspective into what's happening and give them a sense of ownership and importance. So I'm excited about being able to have those conversations about what's going on in the world and what they can do to help.